So the oil and gas industry is no stranger to cybersecurity threats. Of course, the oil sector is very popular. It's been popular for 50 years. Big companies. There's a lot of money, and also there's a lot of politics involved. And sometimes the hacks are countries versus country, like China versus USA or Russia versus Ukraine. We're reading about this, of course, in the news. It's not only a hacker group or someone attacking my computer or a company. It could be on the level of a country. So most attempts in the oil sector are focused on breaking into the company network, right, of major oil companies. And based on some research that was released, the hackers' focus is mainly on downstream activities, such as the production of end products. They don't focus on upstream, like the oil rig itself, for example. No, it's more downstream. Political tensions are one of the main reasons, actually, where oil companies are targeted, because usually oil company is the symbol of the country. Like Aramco, for example, in Saudi Arabia. It's the symbol of the country. So if there is a hack, it's like a country attacking another country, basically. And successful hacks can lead to disruption in the supply chain. Of course, we all know in the oil business, one day costs a lot of money. So imagine if a hack happens and it disrupts business for 6 days. And this is the example we'll give today. The damage is in millions of dollars, actually. So company not operating for 6 days is 1 week or more. That costs a lot of money, right? And it can really impact profits. And one study by a company called Trend Micro, who are very famous in cybersecurity, identified malware infection due to legitimate web browsing as the most type of successful attack in oil companies. What this means? Tricking users. That's their most successful attack. Clicking on a link we don't know, attachment we don't know, or a hacker hiding themselves as someone from the company, right? It can even have the email look like someone from your company, right? And that's what happened in Colonial Pipeline. So this is the example that we will talk about now. So what is Colonial Pipeline? It is one of the largest United States oil pipeline companies, and they were a victim of a ransomware attack in May 2021. So almost a year and a half ago. The hack targeted some of the company's digital systems. So the entire system, and some departments were shut down, completely shut down. So the shutdown impacted customers and even airlines because they were giving oil to airlines and major consumers on the East Coast, United States. So East Coast is like New York, Florida, that part. And it was so severe, this attack, that the government under President Joe Biden declared a national security threat and a state of emergency. Can you believe it? So hacking an oil company caused the United States to declare a state of emergency. Why? Because the company was down for 6 days. Oil was not produced. It didn't go to airlines. It disrupted the, trucking, logistics. The entire foundation of modern society is still based on oil. So not having oil for 6 days from one of the largest companies in an area, it disrupts business. And the hack was done by a group called the Dark Side. They stole a lot of data, so 100 gigabytes or more, within the first 2 hours. So the attack happened on May 6th. And then after this, they attacked the network. So they stole data first, and then installed the ransomware virus. It hit some systems, including billing and accounting systems, so all the financial systems, basically. And these systems were blocked by the hackers, completely blocked. And in order to give access back to the company, the hackers asked for 75 Bitcoin. At that time, it was $4.4 million, right? And believe it or not, the hackers won, and the company paid $4.4 million. And operations resumed on May 12th. So what does this tell us? some key takeaways for us, in the oil industry or related companies. Oil is a target. Attacks do happen. It's not theoretical, it's actually happening. Successful attack, if the hacker can enter the network, the hackers win. This is the key takeaway, and there are many examples. So we have to be very careful, right, on the level of a company. And one thing we also take away from this example is that companies are willing to pay money to resume operations. It's more important for business and profitability rather than reporting this to the police and waiting for the police or whatever department is handling this in the government to try to find the hackers and solve the problem. So there is an issue with how governments and countries still react. This is a problem. Companies would rather pay money, finish the problem now, take some money I already damaged, and try to avoid this attack in the future. That's the strategy they are using. Okay. And again, this slide is just from the Trend Micro report that I mentioned earlier. It's showing us in the oil industry and others. So oil industry is the bar in blue. It's showing us the different types of attacks that happen and the ones that are successful. So the highest one was 35.1% is malware infection due to web browsing, legitimate web browsing. This is followed by the one above it is compromising internet accessible device. So this means the hacker somehow got access to a device that is already entering or can interact with the company's network. This is the second type. What does this mean? Either they steal a device, right? Or they hack someone's device, or sometimes, which actually happens, they have someone inside the company. This is the most dangerous, right? So either someone from this gang, from the hacker group, works in the company and they plan a long-term attack or a hack, or they go and bribe or convince or blackmail someone who's already working in this company. Like we see in the movies, they might go kidnap someone's son or daughter, God forbid, or have some information to blackmail someone, and they tell them, take this USB or take this device, put it in the network, and we'll let your son go, or we'll give you back your money or something. So they use people on the inside. And that's why awareness is important. So again, there's a link here to the full report. We don't have time to discuss it today, but if you'd like to see it, we will be sharing the slides as well.